being there because he tried to steal it from me.
Why shouldn't sellers show buyers around themselves?
I just want to go, just be quiet, just stop. Your no regret offer. But they've overpriced it by £25,000. It's not the greatest look. Why would you book a viewing and you don't turn up? I don't get it. I think a lot of the time it's at the front door.
So before they've even walked in?
Yeah.
Hello and hi, I'm Chris from Harrison's, as you well know, and today in this week's pod we have Vivian. And Vivian, we're just going to go straight into, just to sort of loosen the mood, okay? We're going to go into a quick fire round, first of all, and then we're obviously going to talk about then you and your role and how you fit in within the company.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about team dynamics first of all. So this is a quick fire round, so just fire away first thought that comes to your mind. Who would you say in the team is most likely to talk a deal up?
Ben.
Who's the hardest to say no to, buyers or sellers?
Liz.
Who's more optimistic, you or the listers?
The listers.
Who panics more when things go wrong, you or the office?
Me.
Who gives better feedback, you or the team?
The team.
Okay, so viewings. Who has it easier, you out on viewings or the office inside?
Me out on viewings.
Better job, lister or viewing specialist?
I love my job.
So viewing specialist?
Yes.
Would you swap roles for a day, yes or no?
Yes.
Who gets the better side of the job, you or them?
Me.
Why's that?
Because I think as you know, I don't like being in the office all the time, so I like meeting people, and I wouldn't want to be picking up the phone every 5 minutes. I like being out and about.
Who deals with more reality, you or the office?
The office.
Who's tougher, buyers or sellers?
Sellers.
Who's more honest, buyers or sellers?
Sellers.
Who's harder to manage, first-time buyers or experienced sellers?
Experienced sellers.
Who listens more, buyers or sellers?
Sellers.
Who changes their mind more?
Sellers.
Who would struggle most doing your job?
Amber.
Who would you trust least to do your job for a day?
Ben.
Why is that?
Because he tried to steal it from me.
Yeah. Who's most likely to overpromise?
Ben.
Who's most likely to say we'll get great interest?
Ben.
Who would you take on every viewing with you if you had to?
Amber.
Oh, you could have got brownie points there. Who's more stubborn, you or the office? Or
Me.
who's more stubborn?
Me.
Really?
Never.
Who's more patient?
The office.
Who in particular?
Amber.
Who's better under pressure?
Amber.
Who would survive a day of back-to-back viewings?
They could all do it.
hmm
No, all of them.
Who complains more?
Ben.
What's the one word to describe the office?
Enthusiastic.
Nice. One word to describe your job.
Fulfilling.
One word to describe buyers.
Difficult.
Why would you say that? Just out of curiosity.
They're always changing their minds. They're very indecisive.
Yep.
And they generally don't know what they want. So it's quite a hard decision to be made, and it's a big decision.
Yeah, quite agree. So cool. So what we're going to go on to now is obviously you and your role at Harrison's. So how would you describe your role?
Obviously, I am office-based as well. The majority of the time I go out and do the viewings. I'm part-time, that everyone's aware of. Yeah, my job is to be the face of Harrison's out and about on viewings.
Yep. So how would a typical day look like to you?
My day consists of coming into the office, a couple of hours on the phone, doing admin, picking up emails. Generally then I get my keys. I prep for where I'm off to. So obviously I know what I'm going to see and who I'm seeing. And I go and do viewings. Then generally maybe I have an hour back in the office, take the keys back, have a chat with the team, and I do that 3 times a week.
What's so just obviously touching base on that. Why would you say that's important?
Which part?
Being the face of Harrison's.
Because people then have someone to go back to in respect of when they want to make an offer potentially, or just need some advice on other properties that we have. See, I know our stock, so yeah, just being friendly, smiling, being approachable.
So good point that you just made there. When you say about knowing our stock, what do you mean by that?
Well, I don't just go out and go, this is the front room, this is the kitchen. I know about the property. I know where things are. For instance, I know where the boilers are. I know what sort of boiler it is. I know if the loft is boarded. I know if there's planning permission for an extension. Just a good knowledge of where I'm going and the property to help sell it.
Why do you say, because I've always looked at these and think that these are always basics, and I go on about the basics all the time. Why do you think these are sort of important, and why you should know this stuff?
Because there's nothing worse than turning up for a viewing with someone that doesn't know anything about what they're trying to sell. It's like a car salesman. You wouldn't try and sell a car you knew nothing about. It's the same with a house.
Yeah. So you're saying, so again, like if we're looking at potentially other agencies, because I know obviously other agencies either outsource viewings or they have somebody there that's 19 years old, 20 years old, which I haven't got anything against. But do you feel that, obviously you're not old, I'm not saying that because you're similar age to me. But why do you feel it's something a little bit more important that someone like yourself is dealing with viewings rather than somebody else that doesn't know the property or somebody that's a bit younger? Why do you think it's important there?
Obviously, I've bought and sold, 4 or 5 houses through my life already. So that gives me the experience to know what the situation is and the different reasons people buy and sell houses. It's not always happy times. Sometimes it's really hard times. So yeah, just having some empathy and understanding, and yeah, just not just taking it for granted that it's a good time for people.
So would you consider, when just listening to you there, would you consider it a job in what you do when you talk about a job? Is it a job to you?
No, I do really enjoy what I do, and I think that if you're not going to invest in knowing what you're doing, then yeah, you might as well just outsource your viewings and let someone else do them. But I think people appreciate the fact that they've got someone showing them around that knows the town, knows the area, knows where local things are. It's just all of that package, and that's why I get such good feedback.
Yeah. Because it's really interesting as well, and I won't name the actual agent it was, but there was a member of staff that was buying a property for a local agent, and one of the things that she did, she went back there after agreeing a deal 3 weeks later, went back for another viewing, and the viewing person basically said, "Oh, how long have you been looking? Do you like the property? Are you viewing anything else?" And she was actually the one that was buying the property. So it's just when you look at that and you think, well, actually the amount of money that people spend, some people think we're expensive, I think we're cheap based on what we do, but when you're looking at that, I personally think it's quite poor, but it's not reassuring as a buyer there that you've got somebody coming out acting like you're not buying it and she's trying to sell you the property.
Yeah, so I would always check whoever I'm going to meet, what the situation is. If it's a second viewing, understanding why they're going to see it again, if they've bought it or if they are just having another look around because potentially they've got a couple of properties that they're interested in. So yeah, and a good knowledge of who you're meeting is very, very important.
I think that's a great word, and obviously knowledge, but also as well, I think that's the importance then of you being within the office is you have an understanding of actually what's going on rather than somebody that's 10, 20 miles away that's just doing a job.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I can still do everything within the office as well. I can negotiate. I can do all of what the office do, obviously, but my main role is to be out there looking at properties with clients.
How did you get into the role?
I bought a house through you, Chris.
That was
No,
was
I sold a house for you. That's completely lie.
Well, I was showing you around a house, wasn't I, initially? I think that's how we started.
Yeah.
And then obviously you trusted me to sell your property. What stood out to you and why you chose me or Harrison's
We didn't.
6 years ago?
Yeah, we didn't actually. We had another agent out previously, and I'd also had that agent out to see my mum's house, and I was really disappointed in the service that was given to both me and my mum. So then we inquired about a house for yourselves. I met you at the house, and we never contacted another agent. I don't know, we just...
So that you basically saying I'm amazing.
We clicked.
So obviously then going back to that, shortly after that, because I remember we dealt with your property first, didn't we? And then you then sent me around to Mum's house, didn't you, to sell? And
Yeah.
then I remember us having a conversation in the living room, and you were talking about potentially joining. And at the time, was it at the time, or was it at the time there where we was just about to go through a recruiting process?
I remember once the process had finished with you guys and we'd moved into the new house, and I got 3 young kids, and they were quite young at that point. And I remember sitting on the floor unpacking boxes thinking, what am I going to do with myself now? Because I used to spend every single day fighting that sale to go through. And I saw something pop up on Facebook that said you were recruiting for a PA. And I knew a PA wasn't the job for me, but I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And that's where it started.
So yeah, why? So obviously, yeah, I've still got scars from that deal that obviously we did with yourself. Obviously, it was quite a traumatic time, wasn't it? That was around COVID time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really, really hard one. It doesn't help when your mortgage funds aren't there.
No, this is exactly that. And yeah, so obviously at the time, the role wasn't ideal for you. But then a role then came up for a viewing specialist, and I remember coming back to you, didn't I? So
Yeah, you said you can't. I don't think you're right for the PA role, and you were completely right. That's not where I would fit whatsoever. And you said, but give me a few weeks, and you come back to me in 2 weeks' time and said, do you want to be a viewing specialist? And I was like, perfect.
Cool. What actually attracted you to working in property? Was it the whole process? Because again, it wasn't and when I say it wasn't easy, it was probably my top 3, maybe top 2 of most difficult deals to get through. So what actually appealed to you after going through that, to then actually going, I actually want to be an estate agent?
It should have been the complete opposite. I should have run a mile, like the stress. Like, I remember, I've never felt quite so stressed as that process. But in some respects, I really enjoyed it as well. I thrived on the fact that I knew we was going to get there when I didn't know, and we did. So, yeah, and strangely enough, my mum and dad have spent their whole entire life buying and selling houses. So I was always dragged around to viewings and stuff like that when I was younger. We used to view houses they weren't even interested in buying just because they wanted to look at them. So I think it's always been sort of an interest, and the time was just right. The kids were just about old enough.
Yeah. No, cool. What's surprised you most since doing the job? So quickly just going on to that, because again, I have this conversation, and it's interesting recently that we put a pod out on TikTok, and the amount of hate towards estate agents, and we don't really do anything, and we're lowest of the low and whatnot, and everything else goes with it. Until you've actually gone through that sort of experience and actually been within the office and see what we do. And again, no doubt this will probably then kick up another load of haters, which is great. I'm quite happy with a little bit of negativity. But what's actually surprised you by doing the job? Because for me, a lot of people come and go, and they have over the last few years, where they think it's like selling Sunset or anything along those lines, and they're coming in and then actually realising it's not what it looks like from the outside. So what surprised you the most?
Obviously, the perception of estate agents is not always great. I believe that what your team was doing at the time that I was buying was different to what other agencies were doing. So that was important to me. Yeah, like everyone thinks like you have your ups and you have your downs. We can sit on the phone all day long, just trying to get people through the door. Obviously, we have properties that struggle, and the aim is to get them sold as quickly as possible, but not by reducing prices and stuff like that. By just being honest, I suppose, is what's important to us. And yeah, just them honest conversations generally lead to better results.
Because again, like it's one of those that, like, when you look at that word honest, it's not something that's associated with estate agents, and again, that's a stigma that's not shifted.
I get lots of comments out on viewings about, well, you're going to say that because you're an estate agent. I'm like, what does that even mean?
Yeah.
Why do I want to lie to you? It's only going to bite us later down the line if we don't give you the facts at this point.
Yeah.
Because obviously we all understand the process, and the legal process isn't gonna take for lies at the beginning.
No, exactly. And again, as I said, it's again, the honesty is the best policy. And again, there's going to be a few people that look at this and go, yeah, you are one of those estate agents. But for me, at the end of the day, and it's really interesting because this is a week before we've got something launching that is going to be really, really good. And it's going to, in my opinion, completely change how things are. But the joy of what it is it's going to highlight everything at the outset. So, and one of the things, there are agencies that try to hide a few things, but there is literally no point, because you're right, it will fall through later on down the line, and then you've wasted several weeks. Every day, every week that goes by for us, it costs us money, because we want to get it done in as quick as possible, but this will speed the process up, so I'm really excited about that. A bit vague, but anyhow. By the time this comes out, actually, it'll be, you know what we're doing. So, what do you think you're naturally good at when it comes to viewings?
I'm personable. I think I'm generally people say I'm friendly and knowledgeable. And yeah, it's just being that person that people think that they can talk to, rather than just being that robotic person that's just literally pointing out the facts.
Yeah. Lounge, kitchen, dining room.
Absolutely. Yeah. People generally come back to me, want to speak to me. And I suggest a lot of different properties on viewings as well. So I can gauge quite quickly if someone's interested in a property or not. By the time we've got back to the kitchen, I can literally tell if it's of interest to them. So at that point, I'm already forward thinking. I'm thinking, right, what else have I got? What else would be of interest? After the conversations we've had walking around the house, what is it that's really important to these people? Generally, I don't know, for instance, the schools.
Yeah.
I know what properties we've got within that area, and then I would, if I could, get them into them properties as soon as possible, sometimes even on the same day.
Yeah. I think that's really valuable, because again, when you're looking at that, and again, going back to the fact that people outsource viewings, that knowledge then is just going to disappear. If you're just being there just to be present and just open the door, what you've just said there is it's leaving potential opportunities on the table, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what really happens on a viewing? So what are buyers really thinking when you walk into a property?
I think they've made a decision pretty quickly.
What do you mean by that?
I know you gauge quite quickly sort of how you feel about something, and you can see that in people's faces. Yeah. Even if that's just standing outside going, do you know what, it's a bit ugly. It's not in the right road. Yeah. So yeah, viewings are just about a conversation. Yeah. That's all it is. It's just finding out about their needs and their wants, and then hoping that we have something that will suit them, even if it's not that particular property they're in.
So you said there, obviously, again, like it's you can tell if somebody's interested, but on the other side of this, I guess, and it's a post I just recently put out, some buyers might be holding their cards close to the chest because they want to get the property as low as possible and they don't want to tell you that they're interested in it. Which I do find, I understand that, because I would be in exactly the same position, although I went 5% over on when I bought my property because I really wanted it. And this is what I'm trying to educate a lot of people at this very moment in time, is like, is it affordable? Yes. Why would you run the risk of trying to negotiate down just to get the price lower?
Yeah.
When that could be the ideal property to suit you and your family?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I struggle with it because, again, people then think, well, actually, you're just trying to get the most amount of money. Ultimately, that is our job. We're here to get the most amount of money for our sellers. But from that aspect, it's if this property is ideal for you and you're staying here for 10 years and you can see your family growing, then what does it matter if you pay an extra 5?
And I don't think it's so much the case. I think once someone's seen the house of their dreams, they find it really hard to hide that.
Yeah.
And even the most closed people and the people that come in and they're very like, I'm not going to say anything, I'm just going to wander around. If it's their house of their dreams, by the end, you know.
But again, even with that, actually, I was just thinking as you were saying that, why would you not want to let an estate agent know that you're really interested in the property? Because when you're looking at it, if we had 3 or 4 buyers on the table and you had buyer A that was really enthusiastic about buying that property and they didn't muck about, from an agent's perspective, I would be looking at that going, they really want it.
So
They're
I'm going to
gonna
help
buy it.
them.
So why would you not want to tell an estate agent you're really interested?
Absolutely.
Yeah, just thinking that. But how quickly do buyers form an opinion on a home? So that's sort of, we talked about that, but so would you say that's at the front door? Would you say that it's when they walk into the hallway? Is it a case of at the end? When would you say you think they've made a decision?
I think a lot of the time it's at
opinion?
the front door.
Yeah.
I think it's
So before they've even walked in?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of people that come to properties and they're like, I'm seeing this, but there's no way I'm going to be interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
And generally it's them properties that then they fall in love with.
Well, we just had a deal recently, haven't we, where Amber was dealing with it, where we spoke to her at the very beginning of the marketing. She didn't want to view it. 12 weeks later, she's then buying it.
Yeah, I did it with one of my houses. I said, the agent rang me up and said, do you want to see this? I was like, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, really? I was like, no, it's not the right area for me. And I was like, spoke to my other half at the time, come back and was like, oh, go on, we're getting to the desperate point, we'll go and see it. Obviously, that was a house we absolutely fell in love with.
Mm-hmm. So again, it's the importance of just double checking. Okay, there's going to be certain areas that some people don't want to move to, which I understand, but then sometimes it's a case of photos don't do it justice and it's just a case of we'll go and get a feel for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do buyers tend to focus on first?
Bedrooms are a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sizes of bedrooms, especially when there's children involved.
Mm-hmm.
Kitchens and gardens.
Yep.
Obviously, they generally know what sort of size they're looking for. If they're looking for something that's low maintenance, they want to do lots to it, don't want to do anything at all. And then obviously the kitchen is the hub of the home.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always really important to people.
So going with kitchen, would you
Yeah.
say? The ultimate. Okay. What questions do you get asked on most viewings?
Where's the boiler?
Right.
Is the loft ordered?
Yeah.
The chain. That's important. We haven't mentioned that. Knowing what the seller is doing.
It's a really important question.
If they're found somewhere, if it's got no chain on it at all. So that's really important.
Why do, and I suppose going back on that, it's the amount of times where I've done viewings where agents again didn't know that information.
Absolutely. And that's just frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because in the end of the day, if you're interested in that property, the next thing is, what's the timeline going to be on it? How quickly can we get this done? And if I didn't know that, it would just,
So
it wouldn't seem very professional, I don't think.
Yeah, and it could be technically the difference between them buying it or not. There could be two potential properties and the other one could be vacating or no chain, and that could just suddenly sway the decision.
Absolutely.
What do buyers not say, but you can pick up on?
They don't like telling me their budget.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's a question I ask very often, but yeah, quite guarded when it comes to finances, I suppose.
Why do you think that is?
I suppose it goes back to the perception of estate agents that I'm going to use the information almost against them.
Yeah.
That I'm not. I'm going to tell them facts. That's it. I'm going to tell them if there's offers on the table. I'm not going to tell them how much them offers are. And I'm going to give them an idea of what realistically the owner expectations are. And I always say this: what someone's expectation is fine. It doesn't mean that's what's going to be achieved.
Yeah, it's interesting you just said that because I've just thought about something I see the other day, and I remember I was negotiating it the other day, and it was very similar to what I was seeing a influencer online that was doing, and the influencer was basically saying if they tell you there's offers, they're basically lying, was the sort of point that the influencer was getting across. And as you rightly say there, we're not going to mislead people. If there's an offer on the table, we will tell them. As
I would if there was no interest. So it swings and roundabouts.
Yeah. But this person, it was interesting because it was word for word how this was, and ultimately we went down the process and ended up selling it to the other person because the person wouldn't offer more. Next thing you know, that person's coming back and offering more, but he's lost it. It's like, so there's so many people out there trying to guide and advise and trying to get the property lower, but now that person now has just missed out on what his words were. Oh, it's the ideal property for me. So it's just like, well, again, goes back to it. Like, I'm not going to force you to make an offer, but you've got to look at it from the aspect that if this is ideal for you and you could pay more, would you regret not going to your best offer, ultimately?
Absolutely, and that's what we always say, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Put forward what you're happy to offer.
Yeah.
Your no regret offer.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, we're not going to force you to do it, but it's up to you. But then don't come back to us and then moan that we've just sold your ideal property.
Yeah.
So the value of a viewing specialist. Why is it important to have someone from the office conducting the viewings? I know we sort of talked about this a little bit, but
I think we haven't touched on the fact that I also know the sellers of the properties, so they trust me.
Yeah.
I'm the same person coming to their door doing their viewings, and they know who that person is. It's not just some random person that doesn't know anything about their house. I will go round and I will sit in their living room for half an hour before that property goes on the market, have a chat, have a good understanding, let them tell me about their house, because ultimately they're the ones that have lived there for X amount of years. So the trust I build with our sellers also is really important.
Yeah.
And they know that they can come to me, give me a text. How did that one go, Viv? What's your thoughts? And I'm always like this. I can gauge, but I can't guarantee. Buyers say things that they don't mean. But yeah, it's having that relationship also on the other side.
Great, it's very valuable. Why shouldn't sellers show buyers around themselves?
Oh, I've seen it so many times. Sellers say too much and they just keep talking.
Yep.
And they don't even realise they're doing it, but they start pointing out the negatives on the property. And the amount of times I've done viewings with sellers and I just want to go, just be quiet, just stop. Because, we're there to point out all the good things, not, I don't really get on too well with next door or that sort of thing. So
I think also as well is, in my opinion, it's less is more. And I think sometimes when the seller's there, they're so passionate about their property that they go and tell the buyer or potential buyer stuff that really isn't relevant.
No.
And I think sometimes, in my opinion, it's just best to let them just take their time and actually take it all in rather than be sold to by the seller. I was trying to sell my house, as you well know, like 10 years ago now. And I was awful doing it because, again, I was doing everything opposite to what I should have been doing.
You just get over familiar, and the amount of times I feel like I'm almost rescuing the viewers because all they want to do is leave.
Yep.
And all the buyers, the sellers want to do is talk. And I'm not saying always, but people want someone that's impartial.
But I also had this the other day, a bit of feedback where the person said that the viewer was there for about 45 minutes. And obviously when you look at it, an average viewing is probably about 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's always been around that sort of level, and you're thinking, well, 45 minutes, oh, they must really like it.
No.
But they don't, it's just they can't leave.
Yeah.
So, and
I think that actually puts them off.
Yeah. And ultimately, on the other side of it, is sellers get emotionally attached to a potential buyer, which might not be the ideal buyer for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if we get to the point of the process where they have actually bought the property, then the buyer and seller get over familiar with themselves, and then they start communicating between themselves.
Yeah.
And that doesn't help the process further along, because it just emotions get involved, and it's just it can be a disaster.
What's the difference between how you conduct a viewing and a typical agent might?
Well, as you know, I've bought a house recently, had lots of viewings with different agents. I met really good agents. I never told any of them that I was an agent myself, and I met people that, as you said, just literally showed me a house. They couldn't answer a question I had. I got a lot of, I'll come back to you on that one.
Did they
And
come
they
back?
didn't.
And they didn't. No, that's even interesting. So,
then-
one, they didn't know the property, and two, they actually then didn't come back to you.
No, because it's not, I'm not saying, but it's just forgotten at that point, isn't it?
But that could have been a potential deal.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you notice during a viewing that others might miss?
I don't know what I notice. I know the questions I ask. I want to know about them as individuals in respect of, do they have children? What's important? I don't know what I notice. I don't know.
So again, so others might potentially miss there. So if you've got a couple showing around the property, you might find that they don't understand them. So again, kids and schools and...
That's it, and there's nothing more frustrating, and we see this every day, is if you pick up the phone to someone and say, oh, I've got a lovely 3-bedroom property in Baldon. Yeah, but I'm looking for a 4-bedroom property in Faversham. It just doesn't seem very professional, and that's why we just have to listen and know exactly what they need and want.
Yep. How do you use feedback from viewings to help improve the sale?
That's a tough one. Feedback. Obviously, we feedback is so important, and that doesn't matter if it's good feedback or bad feedback. We have to be honest with the seller.
Yep.
Because there's no point in, if the property needs a paint, for instance, that's not going to take anyone too much time. But if the seller has no idea, that's the feedback that's coming back, then we can't do anything to change it. So it's sort of making sure that we're honest, and that speeds up the process generally.
Yeah. It's interesting you just said that, because again, like one of the things that I've been doing more and more of, which is again what we should be doing, I probably have done it more subconsciously, but I've only realised it recently where the odd couple of properties have decided to use another agent, and the reason being is the other agent said, don't worry, it will sell, and there's me giving advice saying that you should paint it. And I remember a classic a little while ago where they went on with the other agent. I said go through and just paint it up. The other agent said, no, they won't sell it. It will sell. 12 weeks later, they come back to me. But they disinstructed the other agent at 8 weeks, repainted it, come back to me, put it on the market, and we sold it within a week.
That's it.
And I think sometimes, a lot of agents will get the property on the market like today or yesterday, which can be one of the worst things you can do. And for me, I've just spoken to somebody recently, and again, it was one of those that it wasn't bad, it was nice, but they said to me, what do you reckon we should do to get a better sale? And I basically went back and said, look, I think you should paint that bit up, because again, there's a few grubby marks. I've got kids myself. You need to give the shower a clean, you need to go around, have a look at those fascias, because they're all a little bit grubby. I said, just for getting a cleaner in at £20 an hour, which is probably going to be about 100 quid max, you can enhance the property sale, and ultimately you'll get the best price. But I always look at it from the aspect that if a buyer sees something negative in a property, they're going to be looking for more negatives.
Yeah,
so if there is a
absolutely.
damp mark or this or anything along those lines, then before you know it, the mind is, well, what else is wrong with it?
Yeah, and I think about also like the conversations that no one wants to have. Like we get a lot of, I don't know, the house smells doggy.
Yep.
The house smells of smoke. It's not great to go back, but unless we're honest, they'll never know, and they can't do anything to change it.
Yeah. It goes back to that honest word, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How do you make buyers feel comfortable during a viewing? So your sort of approach?
I always try and be personable in respect of, like, I'll talk about the fact that I'm born and bred in Sittingbourne. I went to Ballston Manor.
Yeah.
I know the town. I've brought up 3 children in this town. So obviously people that are out of area and don't know too much about it, that's really important. Like Sittingbourne's got to be a nice place. You know what I mean? She's got a house around the corner, and she's got 3 young children that are at school round here.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just trying to have the conversations about me as well as them. Just it makes people feel more comfortable, and that obviously opens people up as well to more conversations.
Yeah. How do you balance giving information without overwhelming people?
I don't think I'm that sort of person anyway.
No, I'd agree.
I'm not one to get into people's faces and try and be intimidating or over the top. It's just not my personality. So it's not something that I think becomes an issue.
Yeah. So I suppose that I would say is you aim to get better understanding of somebody and why.
Yeah, I ask the right questions, but I don't over familiar myself. I don't go over the top. I'm not over the top.
How do you adapt your approach depending on the buyer?
Just touching on the different circumstances. The only way you can do that is by having the conversations about what's important to them. So yeah, and by doing that, you get an understanding, and that's the only way you can do it.
What do you think makes a really good viewing experience?
Having someone that's knowledgeable, being just little things, an agent being on time,
Yep.
an agent not rushing you, but not also giving you endless time to just wander around and pick fault and stuff like that. I think people find it important to find someone friendly, knowledgeable, and has a good knowledge of other properties within the area.
What do you enjoy most about your job?
Meeting people.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's fine having a conversation over the phone. But it's not the same. Like, the amount of people that we talk to over the phone, we gauge an opinion of straight away. We don't know them. And then you meet them in person, and they're a completely different person. So it's just really important, the face-to-face contact.
What do you find most challenging?
The only thing I find challenging is sometimes when we have so many viewings, and I hate being late. And then I start running late because other people are late. That stresses me out.
I think also as well that has a damning effect on us, that all estate agents are late, and half the time it's not us, it's somebody else that's 5-10 minutes late on that, and then unfortunately it's a domino effect throughout the day.
I always say I'm chasing my tail, and that's what I'm doing. And the other really frustrating thing is when people just don't turn up.
Yeah.
It annoys the hell out of me. Like, why would you book a viewing? That person has spent all morning, maybe all yesterday and all morning, getting that house ready for you to view, and you don't turn up.
Yeah.
I don't get it. People do not understand how much effort goes into that person wanting to sell their house. And
And I think as when we're looking at it, is the majority, I would say, of our stock is family homes. So when you've got kids that well, you know all too well, I do. We've both got 3 children, to try and again keep the house clean for a viewing, and they don't have I suppose sometimes it's the audacity actually to let you know that they're not turning up. It's I forgot, or I let you know. That's the other one, isn't it? I let you know where.
Yeah,
everything's recorded and there's nothing there. Yeah,
like you haven't, but. Yeah, it's not just about cleaning the house either. Childcare, taking the dogs out, all the little things that the people do not even appreciate.
Yeah.
And then they're just not there. And then I have to explain that to the seller.
The thing is as well, is when I look at that, is like for us as an estate agent then going forward, if you then come to view another property through us, we're going to be less reluctant or more reluctant to actually book that viewing in. And if this is how you're performing now, it's already a little bit of a mark against you in actually recommending them as a buyer, because ultimately it's proven there, or I'm not saying they're lying, I would say they're probably avoiding the truth. Maybe a little bit more of a tactical way. But yeah, it could have a detrimental impact on a potential property they are interested in.
Absolutely. And we're not saying that people are always lying. Things happen. We know things happen in life, and plans change. But just pick up the phone and let us know.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's probably one of my frustrations, and a cost to the business. But but it's more the client in my eyes.
Yeah, absolutely.
What makes a viewing go really well?
If they love it.
And they offer over the asking price. What makes a viewing go badly?
People that have got a bad opinion of estate agents. So then they just won't open up. They won't have a conversation. And it just feels like you're hitting your head against a brick wall. And you do
Great
get
point.
some. You do. And so you just have to let them get on with it.
Yep, cool. What's one thing every seller should do before their first viewing?
Tell me about their property. People should... the amount of houses I go to where I get there, they're going out, they're taking the dogs out or whatever. And they're like, is this okay? Is this okay? In the end of the day, this is a 15-minute viewing. The house needs to be clean and tidy, but it does not need to be a show home. It's obvious that you have children. It's obvious you have pets. So make it presentable, but do not stress to the point that you overstressed. They're not going to notice if there's some toys in the corner. They're not going to notice a cup on the side. It's not what they're looking for.
I want to go back to the first point there, because I think there's more meat on that when you're saying about so they should meet you first. But again, going back to that, that's a really, really good point actually. But again, there's more to that, because even when I was saying that wasn't the first thing that I went to when I was asking that question. So if any seller is marketing their property, really they should be meeting the agent that's going to be doing the viewings, because that's another thing there that doesn't always happen. Typically within a estate agency, there's a lister that goes out, wins the business, and then they're on to the next one. They're not actually the one that is understanding them, what their circumstances is, about their property, because then they're just going to go off to the next one and then pass it on to a viewing specialist. So I think that is actually really important, is whoever is doing the viewing should be the person, they should be meeting with the sellers beforehand. We do that, but again, it's now made me think that's even more important than...
Yeah, and it just makes them feel more at ease as well. Like, it's like I'm leaving my house and I don't even know who's coming in it. I would feel more comfortable if I knew that Claire was coming to do my viewing, and I'd met Claire and I'd had a chat with her.
Yeah, no, cool. What are the most common mistakes sellers make when preparing for viewings?
Being there.
That doesn't need an explanation, really, does it? I think we've alluded to that earlier on. What small changes can make the biggest difference to a buyer?
In respect of like...
So this is advice for sellers. So what small changes can make the biggest difference to a buyer? I feel I'd go probably more... I know you said about... I understand what you're saying about the presentation side of things. I think if there is anything there that needs doing...
Yeah, like if there's a grubby wall, paint it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's going to take you an hour of your time, and then people aren't going to pick up on that, and they're going to go, oh, we're going to knock them down because it needs painting. I don't know, addressing small things, like we had a discussion the other day about a shower screen.
Yep.
Just like little things like that, just making it, they're the important things to keep clean rather than putting the toys away. Do you know what I mean? It's just, yeah.
No, cool. How important is presentation when it comes to achieving a good price?
Presentation is important, but they're buying the house in the end of the day. So, yeah, show it in its best light, but don't kill yourself in the process.
But I suppose even then when you're looking at that, is if somebody is then struggling, then there is a potential option for us to help with that.
Yeah.
And style it, or get the cleaners in, or anything along those lines. So if somebody is stressing that much, then ultimately we've got options there where we can potentially help a seller.
I've been to viewings before where someone's rang up in the morning and said, can I view X? I ring the seller, can they view? Oh, not really, my boxes are on the floor. I'll go and pick your boxes up. I'll make the bed quickly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'll go above and beyond if that means that there's a potential that the property will sell.
I'm going to challenge you now. So do you think it is advisable then to book somebody in straight away?
No, it's not.
No.
It's better that we get our viewings in a block that we've started to do really well. We've got a process that's followed, and then we do block viewings within a couple of weeks of the property going on the market. And then we got 3 or 4 people maybe even more through the door, and potentially that's it. That's the end of it. They don't need to do any more viewings. There's nothing worse than having a viewing on a Tuesday, a viewing on a Thursday, and a viewing on a Saturday, because they've got to keep the house or redo the house 3 times a week. That's not fair on anyone.
No, good. What would you say to somebody about to put their home on the market?
Say that again.
What would you say to somebody about to put their home on the market?
I would say, have you had more than one opinion? For instance, sort of, we're very much honest and make sure that the price is right. We don't tie people into non-contracts and stuff like that. So we don't tie people into any contract. So yeah, I would just say, just make sure you've had the right advice and enough advice.
So what is the right advice?
The one thing we see a lot with other agents is, yeah, they get the property on the market, but they've overpriced it by £25,000. Within a few weeks, maybe a few more, it's being reduced. It's not the greatest look.
Yeah.
Why not get it right to start with, and we work up, not down?
Yep. So quickly, obviously, just wrapping it up then. So what do you enjoy most about being part of helping someone move?
I did a post recently about handing keys over. There's nothing better than seeing a family. There's always different circumstances, but for instance, this was a young family that were upsizing, moving to a bigger house, a nicer area. That's what it's all about. It's about the end result.
What does a successful outcome look like to you?
Well, getting a 5-star review after it's all over.
Perfect. Cool. Right, let's wrap that one up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.